Hey Scrappy friends, it's Audrey back with another process video for Confessions of a Paper Addict. Today I am using a fishy cut file from the store. This file is called Gone Fishing. Virginia has a ton of fishing and summer themed cut files in the store, which I absolutely love. We do a lot of fishing, so I'm going to use every single one of these fishing files. What I love about this file is that she has included the main image, which says Gone Fishing, but then she included a copy of the word fishing separately so that you could, I'm imagining, cut the second word fishing in a different color and then kind of overlap that with the original cut file. So I'll show you what I mean as I go through the process video. So the big cut, the one that says Gone Fishing, I have kind of originated on my page, and I'm going to use 2 3x4 photos, and I will cut the second word fishing separately. So I am challenging myself also to use this collection kit, which is super cute. It's called Under the Sea by Echo Park, and I bought this specifically for that fish background paper. They also have a stencil, a fishing stencil that comes with this collection. I have a fishy stencil too. It's the same thing as that light blue paper. So I'm going to back the letters, the G-O-N-E. I thought about doing them all with patterned papers, meaning, well, busily patterned papers, but I found that I thought it was just going to be too busy, so I'm just going to do the O with this fishy print, and then I'm going to do the other 3 letters, the G, N, and E, in a more solid color, so that I can just embellish and not take away from the design of the photo too much. I think by using solid colors in the back of a cut file, especially if it's a busy file with lots of details, it helps keep your focus on the file and you don't lose the detail of the file. So that's why I'm sticking mostly with solid colors. So I am using lots of different techniques here to back my file. For some of them, I just put the paper in the back and then trim around it after the glue has dried. Other shapes I cut out. It depends, again, I said this in my last video where I did this technique. It depends really on the cut file and the detail of the file, and I guess how small the pieces are you're trying to back. So, I use different techniques for different files. And I am using liquid glue here. Sometimes I use the sticky dots sheets. That's usually if I'm backing a cut file with one single pattern paper. So I'm not going to show you all the video of me backing this file. It does take a little bit of time. Some of the details in the file, like the bobbers and the fish and this little tackle box, I am backing with solid papers, and I'm just showing you that here. So on this file, across the letter O is a fishing pole, and I didn't feel like it was really standing out very well. You couldn't see it. So I am taking a chance, and I am going to outline just the fishing pole here with my black Sharpie. I thought about trying to cut it out again out of pattern paper, but you know what? That would have been just too much time, and I think too difficult and too flimsy of a skinny piece there to try to cut. So I'm just going to go over it with a black Sharpie. I love how that looks. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the fish, except I'm using kind of like a navy blue Sharpie here. And I'm trying to be very careful that I'm not going onto the pattern paper, behind the cut file. So watch what I do here. I accidentally go into the letter E because I wasn't really paying attention, and I start shading down. Oh, and that's when I just realized I had gone over. I did my mad fists. That I had gone over the part of the letter E. So you can see what I mean. I was just trying to do the fish outline. So I'm going to do a little tiny surgery here. So there's where I went over, and I'm just taking a tiny, tiny scrap of paper, and I'm kind of marking that one little section there, and I'm just kind of going to cover it up with a tiny piece of a little paper, and voila, you can't even tell. You probably wouldn't even have known if I didn't show you that. So, so yeah, it's okay, because I made my mistakes go away. Alright, so I got that file backed. I'm going to go through now and do some mixed media on this background paper. I love this piece of paper. I have to get more of this paper. I don't often buy two of the same piece of paper. I have plenty of paper to last me literally forever, and there's plenty of paper to go around. So, but I really, really like this one, so I might buy another one. I rubbed the gesso on with my scraper, then I'm just going to soften it up a little bit with my finger, and then I'm going to go through and do my mixed media. Somehow I ran out of packaging. How could that possibly be? So I had to cut another piece there, and I'm just going to start spraying and adding some water, and I like using the brush to move the mist around, but I really think just the randomness of the packaging, especially when you add a lot of water there, I love what the packaging just does, and it adds little bits that you just can't get with the brush. So the brush technique and using the packaging technique definitely give you different finishes and give you different feels. So I'm just going through with some teals and some blues and some seafoam, and I'm going to do a little bit of green in here. I definitely wanted to bring in a little bit of green because, I don't know, to me, like lake water or seawater is kind of a bluish green, a murky green. And there was some green I used green for one of the letters in the cut file, so I definitely wanted to add that in. When I dabbed this green off, it was a little too yellowy, more yellowy than I wanted it to be, but that's fine. So I thought about doing some white splatters and doing some bubble shapes. So I, instead of just doing splatters, I decided to take out a stencil with kind of some awkward bubbly shapes. And I am using this modeling paste. Oh gosh. You'll have to go back and pause the video and see the manufacturer. I can't remember. But it's not one I typically use. But the one I was going to use, my normal one was all dried up, so I had the end of the one. But this texture paste actually has has sand in it, and you'll see in the close-ups at the end which I thought was perfect for this theme. It has like a sandy texture and a sandy finish, so that's kind of cool. So I just added those to the background with my finger. Okay, so here is that other word, fishing, that I cut out separately because it comes separately in the cut file, and you can tell it's very, very, very thin, so you got to be very careful with it. And it doesn't, I'm not lining it up perfectly here on top of the white part, but by doing these two layers, it does give it a little bit more stability. So yeah, so it's not perfectly lined up, but it's fine. It kind of adds a little outline, and it looks cute. So there's everything set up on the page now. So now I'm going to start embellishing and doing some things to my photos. I'm going to back my photos with some pattern paper. I decided to go with the yellow to kind of contrast the blue background and pick up on a little bit of yellow in the fish in the letter O. So I'll back those and distress the edges. And because I have a busy mixed media background and a busy cut file with some lots of pattern papers and lots of little details, I'm going to try not to over embellish the page here. So I'm just going to add a few other things that kind of go along with this collection to embellish. Before I do that, I'm going to pop up my whole title here. I'm just using the craft foam for this part. I've grown to like using the craft foam more than trying to use like adhesive, like 3D dots or whatever, or 3D foam squares, because it's cheaper and you can cut the shapes to size easier, so I'm kind of liking this. And then the word fishing, it's too skinny to pop up, and I really don't feel like trying to cut pieces of foam to make it pop up. I'm just going to glue it right down, even though it's attached to to the gone, the word gone. I can still glue it down to the paper. Don't forget to dot the I. And then for embellishing, I have the sticker sheet that comes in this kit and two like ephemera and journaling packs, so I'm just going to kind of go through those. Of course, I'm going to use all these fish stickers. I don't know why, but I was really hung up on the fact that all of the fish were facing to the right. I really wanted the fish to be facing to the left. I don't know why. It was just bothering me. It still bothers me a little bit. I don't know. But weird things like that bother me, I guess. But yeah, I wish some of the fish were going in the other direction. I guess I could have, like the little green fish that don't have any detail on them, I could have turned them to swim the other way. But so I guess all the fish are swimming to the right. Even the ones in the background paper, I wish they had been mixed up a little bit, but whatever. The one fish on the bottom, underneath the word fishing, the blue and green one, I purposely kind of put crooked because my intention is to put a little fishing line, attach it with some stitching to the word fishing. So I wanted to add some of this this pattern paper to the background a little bit because it was so cute, and I love the little details. It has little starfish and seahorses and fish and seaweed. So, you know, just tiny little details that I thought would look cute under some torn edges there. Kind of, and these ones are going, I think most of these are going the opposite direction, so, oh well, whatever. And then I'm just going to kind of rough up those torn edges there. There we go. And I know that one's not even on the bottom, but I'll go back and trim that off later. Last little detail here. Well, I'm going to pop these off with some foam squares. Got a lot of, everything's popped off this page except the word fishing, I guess. What else do I do? Oh, I added some labels to the top. I will write my date up there, and I'm going to add a few sequins coming up here. I don't know what it is about my summery, watery pages, but I always add sequins to them, and I just love the sparkle they give. The fish eye here, perfect place for a sequin. So I'll add a sequin there. I have a little helper. My helper, who this page is about, is a very good fisherman. He fishes a lot. We pick our own worms. We bait our own hooks. We take our own fish off the hooks. This was last summer. We don't often catch rock bass, so he was very excited to get a rock bass off the dock. Okay, so I'm just putting some sequins on with some glue, and I go back, I add some machine stitching, I just do a smidge of journaling underneath the letter E, and I add my date, and there it is. That's it. I love this file. I love this paper line is actually super cute, and I love that it's kind of boyish a little bit, but it goes super cute with these photos. Oh, there's my stitching. You can see my fish strung onto the fishing line there, which I love that little touch there. So thank you so much for stopping by today. You can check the link in the description below for the link to this cut file and lots of other summary ones in the Confessions of a Paper Addict store. Thanks so much for watching today, and stay scrappy, friends.